Welcome to CricWorldStraightUp, यानी सीधी बात by Vijay and Prabhu.
Hello and welcome friends to CricWorldStraightUp. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and thank you for all your support so far. I am Prabhu.
I am Vijay, and today you would be wondering why we are wearing these Aussie hats. The reason being, we are actually covering the Ashes series, not just the test, but the whole series.
So the last match finished at Hobart with Australia winning comfortably, and it looked like a very close game on paper, but I think England had a lot of questions to answer after the game and after the series actually. So we saw very good performances from Cummin, and in the batting we saw Travis Head with an astounding century and Cameron Green with a brilliant 70 in the first innings. And then England began.
It looked that England actually were going to make a match out of it. And they did for a while. And then, as perhaps Andrew Miller had predicted, the second innings was the key turnaround, because to a large extent, England bowlers did bowl well, but it did not actually make any serious impact, even though at one point, I think the Aussies were about 4 for 38 or something like that.
So Australia had a lead of 120 in the first innings, and then they batted second. Mark Wood came up with a stunning 6 for 37, his career best wicket haul anywhere, and Australia had a lead of about 300. England looked like they would be having a chance because they started brightly with 68 for no loss, ended up losing the last 10 wickets for 50 odd runs and slumping to another defeat at the hands of Australia.
Yeah, it was actually 124. I was watching the match. I remember texting you and saying, looks like England is actually going to make and take this opportunity and at least salvage something and make this perhaps a 3-1. But you know, Cameron Green had a different idea. He got Burns out, and then immediately after lunch, I think they got, dinner in this case, they had, he had Malan and also Crawley. He actually took all the first 3 wickets, and then Scott Boland got in and finished them off, literally. So 124, abysmal and woeful performance by England.
Yes, and that actually sealed the fate of England. 4-0, incredibly lucky not to end up losing 0-5 when time ran out in Sydney. Let's look at what happened during the series, Vijay, the highlights or lowlights of each innings. Let's start with the winning team, Australia. What do you think were the strong points for Australia, and where did they come up trumps?
I think to me it was the very first ball at Gabba. The way Stark bowled Burns behind his legs. I mean, on any other day, it would have been possibly a half volley straight to square leg. But that kind of set the tone for the entire series. You can't let Aussies get in. Once they get in, they very seldom lose the vice, and that's exactly what happened.
So Australia won the series comfortably, and we are now going to talk about the highlights for Australia during the series. We had 2 fantastic comeback performances. One from Usman Khawaja, who hit a double hundred hit a century in each innings in the 4th Test match, and Scott Boland, who took 18 wickets for under 10 during the series. He came from nowhere at the age of 32, and everybody thought he's just a stopgap performer, but he ended up being a very, very integral part of Australia. The other important players for Australia were Cameron Green, who finally, as for most people, cemented his place as an all-rounder. Pat Cummins led the side very astutely, except probably one glitch in Sydney, but I thought he bowled brilliantly. 20 plus wickets in 4 Test matches, testament of what he's capable of. And now we come to England.
Well, the less said the better, but since we have to talk about the highlights for England, and you might have realized that we've switched the sides here, is because now I wanted to actually talk good about England, which I normally don't, and therefore I thought this is a better way of looking into the camera and talking about it. Had good 2 scores of almost 70 plus, and Root as well scored a number of, I think he had a number of good innings. However, he was not well supported by any others. There was bits and pieces here from Ben Stokes, and there was also a big 100, or not so much big, but at least 100 from Johnny Bairstow. So it's not that they did not have the chances. England did have their chances. The only thing perhaps did not go. You also have to have the raw of the green. So sometimes it so happens that no matter what you try, it does not work.
And I think there were some questionable team selections, poor catching, and some defensive field placings as well. All in all, not a very satisfactory England performances. But what do you expect in Australia?
Exactly. You need to bring your A game in Australia. I mean, in the recent past, Indians have shown them, but the reality is that England just did not have enough in the tank every time they actually came out. Either they did not have enough runs, or they did not manage to take 20 Australian wickets. Bottom line is that.
Thank you so much, guys. That's all from us for the Ashes series. Thank you for all your participation so far. Please don't forget to add your comments, likes, shares, and send us your feedback. What would you like us to do differently? What would you like to hear? Which series would you like us to cover?
To watch our other episodes in case you haven't caught up. We've covered, must be our 5th or 6th episode. So once again, thank you so much. Like, share and subscribe, and continue to support us. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you soon for the next episode for the India-South Africa one-dayers.